Hello and welcome everyone to AABN's 162nd weekly webinar series. Let me begin by thanking the core committee members of AABN for cooperated closely with the task force in organizing this event. This webinar series by AABN is indeed an eclectic one, bringing together small business owners, lenders, technical assistance providers, government officials, and members of the academic community to explore the challenges faced by today's entrepreneurs and to identify promising approaches to addressing their needs. Events such as this one is particularly valuable because they allow us to draw on a broad range of experiences and evidence. We are keenly interested in hearing your insights and look forward to sharing results from AABN's continued small business outreach. We have got an awesome speaker with fresh perspectives on rural development of India in the light of sustainable development goals to address us. Let me extend a very warm welcome to our eminent guest speaker, Mr. Suresh Mariaselvam, to this interactive business networking session. Rural population Rural population comprises about 70 and 60% of the population of low and lower middle income countries respectively, and about 80% of people below poverty line live in rural areas. The sustainable development goals cannot be achieved without progress in rural development. Important changes in rural development strategies are also necessary for protection of natural capital located mostly in rural areas and subjected to serious depletion due to the current strategies of rural development. Hence, the primary focus is on rural development and how critical it is to eradicate the divide between urban and rural communities. Globally, people in rural areas lack access to modern energy services, which affects productivity, educational and health services, exacerbating poverty, among other things. Given this reality, the following questions arise. How can we act to reverse this reality? Are there examples of transformation in rural context where community empowerment is a key strategy? In today's webinar, our eminent guest speaker will describe the transformation process of a small rural community towards a sustainable development in parallel to the activation of the local productivity that helps to eliminate the effects of rural depopulation. At the junction we find ourselves in today, there can be no one more fitting than Mr. Suresh Mariaselvam to address, enlighten, and take questions from this diverse group. I have the present duty of introducing and welcoming Mr. Suresh Mariaselvam to this interactive business networking session. Mr. Suresh Mariaselvam is former advisor, Danida, UNFPA, UNDP. He is an independent community development consultant and adjunct faculty with institutions for higher education across Tamil Nadu. He is also the vice chair, Community Advisory Board, ICMR, NIRT. He is a consultant at the UNICEF Office for Tamil Nadu and Kerala. He is a trustee in the Tamil Nadu Farm Graduates Forum and national advisor, Mother Teresa Charitable Trust. He has a master's in international health from the Copenhagen Central University, Denmark, with a special focus on project management, policy research, sociology and public health, and a PG diploma in disaster risk reduction and refugee management. Besides spending 27 years in the industry and social development sectors, also has 8 years in teaching humanities and management. Has played key role in strategic management of public health and social welfare in India. Has contributed his services to public health development, trained district administrators and NGOs in community-based disaster risk reduction, and has played active role in promoting multidisciplinary approach on community development strategies. Has served organizational and academic institutions like VAT, SRM, UNFPA, UNDP, besides his role as advisor in Danish International Development Assistance, DANIDA, and consultant with WHO and UNICEF. Current projects include waste management and social entrepreneurship, agriculture and sustainable community development, climate change, disaster risk reduction. Also participates and organizes webinars with stakeholders like UNICEF, MGN, CRE, Ministry of Education, etc. Actively participates in empowerment and welfare of widows and differently abled persons. With a speaker like Mr. Suresh Mariaselvam, with distinguished experience, I'm not going to extend my speech. As we discuss different emerging views and innovations in the industry, the opportunities and challenges, I believe today is going to be a day of learning and awareness for each one of us. Hope you all have a very engaging and enriching day that's beneficial for the future of your careers and the industry at large. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Suresh.
Thank you so much. A warm good morning to everyone. First, I wish to thank and extend my gratitude to AABN and Mr. Gopi for inviting me, and Mr. Srinivasan sir for referring me. Last week, I was present at the session, and you have been doing a wonderful job in the development of the community. And I wish all the success in the future seminars and the impact which is going to create among the youngsters especially. Thank you so much. So let me start the presentation. Uh, all right. So this is about rural development in India in the light of SDG. First, let us understand what is development, and next come to social development and what is sustainable development. We can understand this thing because election is approaching. Uh, we have been hearing that India has achieved this, India has achieved that, we are reached this level, we are number one. Fine. As a country, it is acceptable. But as an individual, I am not very happy that every citizen is getting equal rights or equal share of his development share. For example, if I have to define what is development, the process in which someone or something grows or changes that becomes more advanced. For example, if we say ever since was formed in 1960, the company has been forefront of the computer development. All our profits are revisited. Opponents of the new shopping development are trying to rally local people against it. All these examples I am giving. So this is about development. It could applicable to a company or an individual or a city or could be for a social generally. But what is real development? First, if you look at it, till 18th century, the life of the people on earth was based on the things available in that geopolitical area, the hot places and cold places. Hot places, people are having uh, millets and wearing cotton and whatever available medicine they are using the herbs. And the cold place people are wearing woolen dress and having food which generate heat, something like that. So after the first industrial revolution, starting with steam, so the humankind started experiencing different kinds of lifestyle because once the steam started, automation started, then the mobility started. The steam engines started carrying people from one place to another place. Steam handloom machines, they started power looms, become power looms, and they started manufacturing more clothes and an industrialization, a kind of a administration style started. Then second one is electricity. When electricity started in 19th century, then the new kind of industry started coming up, especially after the Second World War. The European countries, they started coming out with a lot of industrial new inventions. Along with that, the policies, management policies, insurance, uh, HR policies, all these things started, and that is giving a lot of job opportunities people. And the entire Europe came together to have to show their solidarity. They formed this European Commission, and they came out. They plan to have this separate currency to strengthen their stand at the global level. And third generation is on computers. It was in 60s the automation started. So initially people said people are going to lose their jobs. But the other way around started giving a lot of jobs in the computer sector, IT sector. So slowly it is the industrial productions completely automated and the digitalization of a lot of new productive things gave new ways for new production, new innovations, new products, and that led to globalization, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Because a country producing so much of a particular product, they wanted to sell worldwide, then become a globalization policy came. And simultaneously, it's brought some negative things also. Let's discuss about it later. And then now what we are experiencing now is the cyber physical systems, IoT, Internet of Things, and networking, machine learning, where the automation is completely robotized. So now uh, artificial intelligence is going to take over. That is a next generation human robot collaboration, where now we are going to depend on the machines. Now, recently I read a news that Swiggy or Zomato, I'm not very sure, they are investing around 2,800 crores in India. I was wondering, a delivery company, food delivery company, why they have to invest so much of money. Later, I came to know the data science is taking over. The food delivery is a primary thing, but simultaneously, they want to understand the eating habits of every individual so that they can plan accordingly, suggest what kind of food, and they can make the customers to get used to their kind of supporting. So in future, I was told, my friends were telling that in future houses will not have any kitchen. They'll be totally depending on outside kitchen. So that kind of development, but that's a real development. I don't know. So the social development has to be compared with that. According to various authors, according to Gore, social development is the total development of the society in its all aspects: economic, social, cultural, and political. Meanwhile, Midgley in 1995 looks at social development as the process of planned social change designed to promote and sustain and well-being of the whole people. That means everyone should get everything which is available in common. It's common to everyone. It is not for this particular group or educated or higher community or something like that. It is common for everyone. Is that happening? So development-wise, India has come much forward. To give an example, after independence, we were totally, completely out of economic shock. So we didn't have anything at all. So the administrators of that time, they had a wonderful vision because we had a long history of administration in this country. So that gave a wisdom for them to have an idea about a vision about a future. And 50s, 60s, 70s, if you look at it, the education sector, now IIT, IIMs, IAS, and industry side, SAIL and GAIL, petroleum companies, oil companies, or airlines company like HAL. The later they started with Bharat Electronics Limited. So the companies started coming one after other. Now, where are we now? If you look at it, say education side, we had around 500 universities, if I'm not mistaken, 500 universities and 950. But now we have almost 60,000 colleges and universities across the country. Can you believe? And literacy rate, it was 7% in 1950, and it is now 83%, and out of which 53% are girls or women. It's a phenomenal development, no doubt about it. If you look at the food sector, in 1965, I think we had war. 1966, it ended up, and 1967 we had a famine or drought, and many of us maybe experienced, and we received, or we requested US to supply food. 911 metric tons of food was submitted, sent by US. It was shipped to mouth. The wheat was there, and there was a request not to take food on Mondays. I remember my parents followed that. So Mondays we used to go to bed without food. And if you want more details about it, you can check with Deepak Vora's former ambassador's video on that. He talks about in detail. So now, at present, in 2018, as per the world data, we are the second world's largest food production country, feeding everyone. So that is to be appreciated, well appreciated. Because after 1967 and 68, we received food from abroad, in Western countries. Mrs. Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, she suggested that India should never beg for food from anybody. And then the Green Revolution started and White Revolution started. Oh my God, that was a phenomenal development. So if you look at other things like World Wealth Report says 8.4 trillion is 12 zeros. That much of money is there. Okay, maybe from one particular group of people or whatever. That's a private money. Comparatively, if you look at it, the whole India has got so much of money, which is the sixth largest economy, which shows that India has got so much of money. So still we say poor country. Where is the difference? Even having so much of money, right? We'll see that. So the literacy we have seen, the health, maternal mortality come down, child mortality has come down, leprosy is eliminated, tuberculosis is under control, its continuity is being monitored, smallpox is eliminated. So many diseases. Now, the COVID, for example, it was threatening the whole world, especially the second largest democratic country in the world, having 140 crores of people. How we managed with the vaccines and the kind of information education, making the people to understand the critical situation and to be uh, to be with the government's thinking and get rid of the situation. So that way we are developed, no developing. But what about the social development? The social development has to be measured like this. For example, this is unusual. It's all age-wise, sex-wise, heredity factors are considered first. Then individual life factors of every individual, and social community networks are there. Then comes the community dealings. One side, if you look at it, living conditions or the working conditions, the work environment, the education, the agriculture, water, sanitation, healthcare, housing. So this is the next layer that makes the entire general socio-economic, cultural, environmental conditions. So if you look at it, there are three layers are controlling us. One is the outside layer. If you look at it, it's called PEST, PEST, political, legal forces, economic forces, social, cultural forces, and technological. These are the forces which we don't have any control. Any individual do not have any control on this. For example, if we say political, when the government is giving some rule, we have to obey to that. So we don't have any second thought of objecting to that, because government thinks over that this is good for the community or this is for the citizens. So that is for the government rule and we have to obey that. We look at economic process, tax or GST or anything for that matter. The economic forces, whatever being given to us, we have to obey to that. Socio-cultural factors, socially whatever norms we are following, and that is not in our hands. It's a collective decision making. And technology, without asking us, the TV has entered in a house. We are thinking we are sitting in a closed room, but we are closely monitored by our own Wi-Fi through our windows, and we have been watched. So technology is also having an upper hand. So the PEST is the outer circle. Inner circle, if you look at it, so this government choosing a government, electing a government is in our hands. Right, shareholders, suppliers, employees, competitors, these are all in our hands. This is within, it's called duplex. So we are giving and we are taking also. This is two-way communication. And inside we are living, it's a closed circuit. So this is the internal environment where the structure and culture and resources we are bound with. So, okay, we live here, and these are the inner circle. These are the outer circle. Inner circle, we have a connection, but external circle, it's only simplex. I can only listen. We cannot take any decision. So beyond that, after the globalization, we have seen about LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So another four factors have to be considered. That is economic, ethical, legal, and environmental. So, ethical is social justice, because in a country like India or China, not China, China is a communist country, like India or any country, depending, or believes in democratic values. So ethical values are to be considered, the upper class and lower class, educated or uneducated. So the divide is always there, and the ethical consideration has to be maintained for all the groups with the equal. Okay, so that is ethical. Then comes legal. The legal is common to everyone, whether it is ordinary Aam Aadmi or as a rich person. So if there is any disparity, again that is going to affect our development. Then comes environmental. Now, environment is playing a major role now. The climate change is threatening us because of the greenhouse gases become thicker, and the temperature is rising, almost reached 1.3. If it reaches by 2, then sea level rise is going to be there. Deforestation is happening. Ozone layer is got a big hole, and the recent Chennai rains and Tirunelveli rains are two examples that we, at any point of time, we can expect any kind of natural catastrophe that may affect our natural life. And for children particularly, they'll be losing their health, they'll be losing their education. So a normal life is going to be affected, and again the development is going to have a hurdle. So I can give you three case studies. I'll give you. Now, one is from West Bengal, from uh, what is that area where this mangroves are there. There, people from Cherrapunji are there. Cherrapunji is known for it's a tourist place. Round the year, they get rain. People visit those places to see that how the place is. But unfortunately, for the past 2 years, the rains are not as per the norms or as per the expected climate. Slowly, the rain stopped, and the tourism is slowly coming to an halt. So people do not have any other alternative livelihood. They move towards cities. So they come to Calcutta. That's one thing. Another scenario, industries are coming. A lot of industries are coming, and the industries waste. It's a liquid waste and solid waste, and the dust and the smoke, everything. It's all mixed up in that rivers, okay, and the backwaters, and they are mixing up over there. This is the second scenario. Third scenario, the workers, the migrating workers who come to city, most of them are involved in construction work, or you can call it as a infrastructure development work, the construction of metros or bridges or whatever may be. Earlier, some 10, 15 years ago, they used to sleep on the roadside wherever the construction is happening. Now the metros have made a rule that they cannot sleep on the roadside. They have to go outskirts and they stay somewhere else. So say they prefer to go to Sundarbans area. The Sundarbans area, they go and they stay over there. So this is a scenario. Okay, so this was happening. So I think 2011 or 12, when I visited Calcutta, I read a news in a paper that in a particular week there were 14 women committed suicide. I was so worried. How come in 1 week 14 women at same place they are committing suicide? I was a little shocked, and I checked my mentor who was living over there. I checked with him. He is working in the Sundarbans area environment sector. I checked with him. He gave these three areas. People due to the hello, yeah, people are migrating since the rains are not there like what it was in Surapunji. This is an example. So agriculture is now it's a failure. It's not getting rains. They cannot repay their loans. So people either commit suicide or sell everything and then move to the urban areas. So they are coming over here working, and police after some time they lose all their money. So these people are staying. Number one. Number two is industrial waste is coming into Sundarbans area. Number three, these people have to live in and around that area. The agreement is the women have to go and do a fishing in the Sundarbans water, and the men would go for work. In the daytime, they will go for construction work. But unfortunately, because of this industrial waste, the Sundarbans water is contaminated, and it's some kind of chemical things are there. So the women have to go waste level water, and they have to catch the fish. So in that process, what happened? Their reproductive organs are infected, and they cannot get involved in their family life. So the men are not happy about that, and they find some partners outside their marriage, and that gives a kind of insecurity to these women because they are all from different places. They don't know anybody to depend on, and that gives insecurity, and that is the reason for many of the women committed suicide. Pathetic scene. See how it is all connected. So one way we are saying development, other side people are moving from place to place, and because of this environmental condition, they have the family problems, and that is affecting their personal life, even costing their own life. Number two, I give an example. from super cyclone in Odisha. I think third day or fourth day, I visited Jagatsinghpur. I was working for Danida, so I carried a vehicle full of drugs. I was supposed to deliver that. When I went there, it was third or fourth day. People are sitting on the huts, on the top of the huts. Water level was increasing, continuous rains, and the people didn't have food also. The food was dropped from the helicopter, and people could not catch the packet because it's a bit heavy, because it was packed for 10-15 people on pack. So it was dropped from a particular distance, because beyond that it cannot come down, and they dropped it, and they could not hold it, and it fell into the water. And the people dived into the water, jumped into the water to get that packet out because they were hungry. And that process, they had snake bite. There were a lot of snakes in the water. Because of this unexpected rain, the snakes also were moving around, and these people got a snake bite. And from outside, the people noticed that they jumped into the river, water, and fetched out. They brought to the banks, and the treatment was given. There were only a few doctors, 3 or 4 doctors, one ambulance. That was the first time. It happened in 1999. So there was no ambulance. Out of 10 people, snake bites, they were giving some injection like penicillin or something, life-saving medicine. Out of 10 people, 2 people were allergic to penicillin. They started foaming and vomiting, and that was like a war field. There was no proper infrastructure to take care of the people, and there was only one ambulance. The medical fraternity was very limited, and people are losing their life. This is another lesson. After that, we have learned a lot of things. We have come a long way. Now we have come out with a lot of community-based initiatives, standard operating procedures, community level groups. We have come a long way. We have learned. That's a kind of development we have made it. Third example is Cyclone Thane that happened in Kadalur. 2011 it happened, and people think the cashew nut farmers, they are only affected some 1,200 families, but actually if you look at it, that is only a few number you can see from outside, but there are almost 100,000 people who are depending on that industry. Those who are plucking the fruits, baking the nuts, classifying them, packing them, putting them in the godown, and a lot of trucks are coming every day to pick up those loads of cashews. And to cater them, there is a hotel, there is a theater, there is a saloon, there is a doctor. So that is informal sector is there. So only 1,200 families are doing the farming, but 100,000 people are informal sector, are working in promoting the sales of these cashew nuts across the world. Now, farmers can stay back, they can grow it, but where this informal sector would move, by default they'll come to the city. They'll find either they'll go to Viluppuram or Kadalur or Chennai, and they think they can buy an auto and they can sell it. So this is how the urbanization has become a big problem. So these are the factors. Even though a development is happening as a nationwide, but individually, if you look at it, we are still have to go a long way. Okay. So health is defined. The WHO Constitution says health is a state of the complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Please understand, this is the real health and not merely absence of disease or infirmity. If you think, I don't know any disease, I don't know BP, I don't know sugar, I don't know any heart problem, I'm happy. No, it should be physical, it should be mental, and your social well-being, your surrounding also, the people living around you also should be happy. Then only it will be a healthy community. If someone is having some problem, anytime a social unrest could happen, because one person is having, another person is denied. So that will lead to some kind of social unrest. So understand, community development is nothing but a physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. So ultimately, the sustainable development, we are touching the point. Its 5 components are there. One is people, planet, partnership, peace, and prosperity. People should be come out of the poverty and hunger, and they should have at least 3-time meals, and there should be a roof and a clothes to wear, that to have a decent lifestyle. Number two, so our surrounding, social well-being. A planet, I'm saying, it's a complete thing in the entire globe. So it makes the community surrounding us. It's a state, the country, and it's a whole planet. Third one is the partnership of implement the agenda through a solid global partnership, all stakeholders, the government, NGOs, industries, academy, and community. So that is the logo of my organization. You can see the 4 pillars, and it will be take it and give it to the community, and you make a small circle. So then comes the peace. So that should be social justice. Everything is for everyone. Everyone should get the fair share of their community cake. Okay. Then comes the prosperity. Then that is the end of it, where we are looking for a developed country status. Okay. So these are the 5 components for a sustainable development indicator. So for that, we need a kind of structure, and it has been defined as 5 capitals. Should have to have a sustainable development. There are 5 capitals are there. One is H is for human capital, natural capital, financial capital, social capital, and physical capital. So human capital is the human resource. Natural capital is the rivers and seas and mountains and forests, all this. So it is being distributed to different countries in a different way by nature. Whatever is there, we have to maintain that, and we have to nurture the nature. Third one is financial capital. That is the one which runs a fulcrum. Then comes social capital. Social capital is the community, the government, the community. And physical capital is nothing but the infrastructure. Now the roads, the schools, and hospital. So all this combined together, it should be equal. If you take a spider diagram, so this should be equal. If it is equal, then it is to influences and access. For example, even if there is any shocks or any hazards affecting us, trends, a trend changing, a seasonality is changing. But if this 5 capitals are equally, more or less equally been maintained, then the levels of government and private sector and the laws, policies, culture, institutions, or process are there, and livelihood strategies are being well taken, then the outcomes will be more income, increased well-being, reduced vulnerability, improved food security, and more sustainable use of NR base. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So these are the 5 capitals: social and political. It's a government. This is the physical infrastructure which we are using, a common thing. It's a human resource, financial capital, natural resources. If this is less and this is more, somewhere we have to adjust to something else. Suppose physical is less and political is more, human is excess, then again there is going to be some kind of social interest, because for the patient doctor data, for example, for one patient, one doctor, how many patients are there? You compare the data with Tamil Nadu and other states, and India with other countries, developed countries and developing countries. Then you will understand how this physical matters in a development sector. So that is how you have to compare. Okay. So obstacles what we are facing. Now we have seen what is development, what is social development, and what is sustainable development. So keeping all these things in mind, so to have a sustainable development, what kind of obstacles we are facing? So as we know, 60 to 70% of the rural population, as in the introduction, Mr. Gobi was talking about, that's right thing he pointed out. There is a big divide. There are people who are very good and well versed with the digital activities, whereas still 60 to 70% of the people still do not know how to operate a phone. There are still villages do not have any electricity. In Bihar, if you go, they have a cycle bell as a calling bell in their houses. You have to ring the bell to call someone from outside. There is no electricity. Still, there is no kind of medical facilities reaching over there. That's what we are working on, reaching on unreached. Okay. So the obstacles, if you look at it, in 21st century, electricity supply is lacking in many villages. Now also many rural people using primitive methods of cooking, which is also a contribution of climate change. So much of smoke, air pollution is happening. Living and farming, and they have trust on these methods. By using primitive cook stoves, life is risked due to pollution. 54% of India's population is below 25 years. Now that's another thing. Now India is the youngest in the world. We have the highest number of youngsters in the world, out of which 332 millions of billion people. I mean, almost 32 crores of students are there, out of which 52% are girls. That's wonderful indicate the literacy level, which was 7 in 1950. Now it is 83%. So that's a phenomenal development in the education sector. But unfortunately, the youth power is not being properly sensitized or utilized, and they have to be put on the track to take the country to the next level. So literacy is a major problem in the digital divide area. That's in the rural areas. So urban areas, it is very good. So the average, what I'm talking about, the percentage 82%, 84%. Kerala has shown the way 100% because the education at the grassroots level, from the grassroots level, as well as the family level also, it's very good. But other states also firmly progressing, but still there are areas still in big states like UP and Bihar, the literacy had to be taken up to the next level. So that's a major problem we are facing. Next comes the poor extension of linkage causes slow growth in the rural development. The linkage of medical or literacy or transport. So cannot provide satisfactory help to rural people's untrained, unskilled, inexperienced staff and extension linkage. And everyone want to go to the cities. The urbanization is the biggest problem. So that the rural peoples remain as ignores, part of the policy makers also. And privatization concept is useful for rural development, but government not paying much attention to this aspect because privatization has got its own policies. The urban areas, it works out well. In the rural areas, because of the economic conditions, it is having some kind of a problem. Then policy makes prepared policies, programs for betterment of rural people. But if these programs are not implemented or reaching not properly, many of the schemes are not still reaching the people. People may not know these kind of schemes are available. So it is not been well implemented very well. Then that has to be looked into. So if you define rural development, rural people set the priorities in their own communities through effective and democratic bodies by providing a local capacity, investment in basic infrastructure and social services, justice, equity, and security, dealing with injustice of the past and ensuring safety and security of the rural population, especially of the women. So this is a perfect definition of a rural development. So we shall define rural development as a process leading to sustainable improvement in the quality of life of rural people, especially the poor. Rural development implies both economic betterment of people as well as greater social transformation. The meaningful development can be achieved only if people of the grassroots are involved. People's participation has become the key word in rural development programs. So most of the programs, as a social scientists, we see that community is also one of the important stakeholder, along with government, NGOs, industries, and academia. So the four are the four pillars, and community is a receiving end, but they are also a stakeholder to work along with these stakeholders so that the development will be faster and equitable also, because it will be addressed by the beneficiaries that what they have and what they lack, so that these issues can be looked into and the solutions can be found out. So the main objective of the rural development is, the first one is alleviation of poverty. So all these UN developmental policies and theories talk about alleviation of poverty. And poverty alleviation is by generating job opportunities, starting new business, startups, all this thing we'll talk about in the upcoming slides. And employment through creation of basic social and economic infrastructure, thereby bringing a quality rural life and improving the living standards of rural people by utilizing the easily available natural and human resources. We have seen the 5 capitals. Natural capital is available, and only thing is what we have to do is we have to care for it. See, one threatening factor is deforestation or air pollution. That affects the natural resources. Okay. Human resources. Urban side, the literacy is very good. Opportunities are very good. That should be extended. The rural areas also. Many of these corporate sectors are working on it, and they have their branches, or through their CSR, they are providing studies. financial capital automatically, when these two are being taken care, financial capital will be taken care, and accordingly the political social policies will change, and that will lead to a social and sustainable development. Okay, the other objectives of the rural development programs are development of agriculture and allied activities, development of village and cottage industries and handicrafts, development of socio-economic infrastructure, which includes setting up of rural banks, cooperative schools, etc., development of community services and facilities, drinking water, electricity, rural roads, health and services, development of human resource mobilization. Now, the digital, after the digitalization, digital India, so the banks are playing a major role in finance matters, and the easy transfer of money from one account to another account using this social accounting like GPay or Paytm or whatever it may be. And this made that the small business owners to promote their business in a bigger way. Rather carrying a cash, it is easy to carry a mobile and then transfer it over there. So this is slowly happening, but we should have the cyber security very strengthened way, because if one person have a better experience, then he may stop using that. So we should ensure one side the development is happening and it is ensuring your safety of your economic sources. Okay, so that is the right way of looking into the development. Then, if you look at after the independence, how India has reached this level. If you look at it, there are four countries. The innovation in Europe is completely stopped the last 30 years. If you look at the median age of Europe is 44. It's my professor used to say from Copenhagen. Now the Europe is a continent of elder people. The youngsters are very less comparatively. So there is no innovation is happening. They are all depending on other countries, like how US is making use of other countries and resources. And because of the economic status, they are paying well and they are making them as their citizens. That's a different story. So that is why they stand as the innovation stand. They are the number one, because the people from all over the world, they have taken the citizenship. They are working. It is not the resident Americans. These are all from American from outside. That's one way you could look at it. But next comes second one is China, third one is Japan, and in IT sector, if you take it, fourth is India. That is, out of the four, the first one, leave the first one. All three are from the native brains are working, and they are all from Asia. So this is social change I'm seeing into the last 70 years. 15% of a population, global population called Europe, was ruling 85% of the world. But now they are begging for money. There is no resource. So India is showing the way. So that is a real development is there. But now what we are talking about is a sustainable development. This development, what we are talking about is one particular sector is developing, and there is another sector like rural sector is not yet coming to that level, and that may lead to some kind of downfall in future. So that should be an equal development. So how they started this vision? Now, for example, in 50s and 60s, they started with intensive agricultural programs, because the food is the first thing to be taken care. If everyone is being fed, the first thing will be filled up. Food is the first one. Then comes the dress, the textiles. Then comes the shelter. Then water, sanitation. Then livelihood simultaneously. So intensive agricultural programs, intensive agricultural district programs, tribal development agency, marginal small farmers and agricultural laborers development agency, command area development, drought prone area and hill area development. All these were financed and operated directly by the central government. Agri's initiatives of 60s increased food production first, because the lesson what we learned from 1967, and benefits for rich non-poor farmers in irrigated areas, small and marginal farmers. See, look at how many dams, how the rivers have been taken care of, water management. Now we have reached the level of coming with a water policy. Jal Shakti is there. And productivity increased from the green revolution of 1970s, 80s. And 29 items of development plans transferred to PRS. Panchayat Raj institution is one of the fantastic administrative structure, I can say. So central, state, district, and PRIs. And PRIs are the grassroots level, and which is a democratic foundation and pillars of this wonderful country. Then comes agriculture and forestry, and environment, industry and infrastructure, minimum infrastructure has to be maintained, social welfare, poverty alleviation, maintenance of community assets. More than 34 lakh elected representative panchayats are looking into the demands of the people, and broadcast representation based in any country in the world. Reservation for weaker section women, Gram Sabha forum for discussion on annual planning, self-help groups, the 9th 5-year plan started. The 5-year plans are another wonderful vision of this administrators, then the administrators. So every 5 years they make a plan. At the end of the 5-year plan, they do an analysis and then monitor. So how much we have progressed, where the promotion points are there, where the negative points are there. So that next 5-year plans looking to the next step of development. That was, so we respect our history. So we know our history. So we have a long history of civilization. That is very useful for us to making our plans. And we made some mistakes and we allowed the people to come and rule us. But that is not going to happen in future. We are going to rule ourselves. And we should have a clear idea of what we need and what the government should provide us. And accordingly, there should be an understanding between the government and the stakeholders will take towards to a sustainable development. And rural development actions are mainly and mostly to development aim for the social and economic development, and should be top down, or usually it is usually top down, but it should be down to top. From the panchayat level, the needs have to be assessed, and then it should be analyzed, and the collective needs have to be made in such a way how much the public infrastructure, that's called the physical infrastructure, should be maintained. Now see, look at this metros, the see for example communication. What a development we have this in the country, and we have this, everyone has got a smartphone and it's well connected, and the digital transactions are happening. Only thing is we have to educate the rural population in that area so that they can come out, the farmers, small farmers can get a fair price directly, and a new development could happen. So that's a gap is there. I'm not saying immediately that will happen, but it will take little time, but we should move in that direction. And the national governments or international development organization. Then comes a strengthening of MSME sector. Rural self-employment training institutes have to be established. Student rural entrepreneurship awareness development, that is student ready, is on job seeker. The government is introducing this kind of institutes where they provide a lot of training to the youth, providing loans and handheld support, and register their patronize their ideas, innovative ideas, so that youth can find a better standard in their society. So the paradigm policy shift is happening, the rural development. Rural poor treated as resource, as integral part of the development strategy. That's what we are talking about. Rural marketing is a subject in most of the institutions. The MBA, there are management schools are there. We always promote rural marketing and rural economy upgradation or promotion. That's a key subject we always talk about. And objectives are bringing the rural-urban divide. If that is being taken care, see for example in Europe, whether it is rural or urban, the infrastructure or the amenities available in urban will be available in rural also. Maybe the communal structures may be different, slightly different, like theaters or opera halls, or something, grounds or something like that. But amenities, if you look at it, tax rate, if you look at it, everything is same, whether it is rural or urban. Okay, guaranteeing wage employment, ensuring food security, making of rural people the arbiters for their own destiny, and to provide for economic upliftment of self-employment, creating rural infrastructure for better economic opportunities and growth, ensuring dignified living, shelter, water, and clean environment, restoring lost or depleted productivity of the land or better livelihood opportunities, approved outlay of first 2 years of 11th plan, 2007 to 12,000, 36,560 crores and 42,400 crores are allotted for development. If you look at the development, see after tsunami, I'll give an example. Usually what happened after a disaster, we used to give relief to the people. Till 90s, 1995, it was okay. But after that, because of this globalization, developments we had talked about, it was started affecting the greenhouse gases. And if you look at the graph,
even our own country, the frequency of disasters increases. 1999 we had super cyclone, 2001 we had earthquake, 2004 we had the tsunami. Series of things till 2000 till last year, we have been getting 1 or 2 or 3 various disasters, especially floods or droughts or cyclones, and sometimes landslides. Okay, so these are major areas happening in Tamil Nadu. And if you look at the whole country, flood is a major thing. Landslides are not landslide, earthquakes, and biological factors. Now, COVID is another example. Bird flu, other bacterial diseases. So this is biological, industrial, like starting from Bhopal till now. So the industrial hazards, so nuclear, chemical, war-based, road accidents. So these are also increasing. One side development of technology, other side is simultaneously the growth of development. So the government is tired of giving all the relief. So then they started telling after 1995, the Higher Framework of Action, HFA, and now Sendai framework is operating. They say identify your hazards, understand your vulnerability, and upgrade your capacity to face it. March towards resilience, building your own resources to tackle this thing. For that, you should understand, you should have a clear idea of disaster management plans. What kind of hazards could hit your area from the past 50 years record, you can take it, and the seasonal changes, and what kind of vulnerability can create, and accordingly create your capacity. Naturally, the loss would be less. Otherwise, every time the loss would be high, whatever development we are making in 100 years, it will be brought down in a matter of 5 or 10 minutes. So disasters also to be looked into part of development. So under Bharat Nirman, these are the factors, whatever I've been telling, is being considered very seriously: irrigation, road, rural housing, rural water supply, rural electrification, rural telecommunication, connectivity. And 3 of the goals of Bharat Nirman, the rural connectivity is the main area, so that the lessons, whatever is being learned in urban areas, could be transformed to rural areas also, rural housing and rural water supply. And if you look at most of these government policies are focusing on this and specific targets, so that there should be accountability in the progress of this initiative. Bharat Nirman, an effort to unlock rural India's growth, a national common minimum program is being introduced, that everyone should get the minimum base needs of every individual have to be fulfilled. That means a house with a toilet, particularly, a shelter, food, and a dress to clothe. That means you should have a livelihood to support all 3. So that is the meaning of it. Okay, the economic growth of it. Okay, now till now we have seen what is development, social development, sustainable development. Now we'll see some techno-social models, how they build it. The basic development objectives of the rural development programs we have seen: alleviation of poverty, unemployment, and through creation of basic social and economic infrastructure, provision of training, rural employment, the youth, and providing employment and marginal farmers, laborers, to discourage seasonal and permanent migration to urban areas. If you keep that is the mind, so this is the formula to build it. What we have to do in every geopolitical area, the infrastructure has to be strengthened, the public services have to be available to everyone, and the communication should be clear, so that government to community, community to government, top down or down to top, that should be clear, so that the needs can be assessed and the demands or supplies could be made to the right need. And to improve that, that should be health, that should be education, and living standards should be proper. And to generate in future result, then employment should be proper, and farm and storage should be maintained properly, and economic activities have to be strengthened. Okay, so these are the 3 levels of a sustainable development structure. Okay. And community local setting team is, that should be a vision. That is what all the PRI, the Panchayat Raj institution leaders, presidents have been always. See, for Kerala, there is one thing, Kila is there, Kerala Institute of Local Administration. That is one of the fantastic infrastructure of a political system. Each and every aspect of a government step is being immediately communicated at the Kila. So the Panchayat level, they understand what the government is going to do next and what kind of activities have been planned. And accordingly, the capacity assessment takes place and the planning. And that's is happening at the PRA level. It's not the district level, because district, say for example, take Dindigul, half of Dindigul is mountain, half of Dindigul is plain. So it cannot be digital. So the panchayat level, every panchayat level, whatever areas, geo factors or natural factors are there, accordingly, the planning should happen. Then the capacity building. The capacity building will be consisting of, this is the community coaching, and this side is engaging the citizens. So leadership developments, organization of development, social capital development, and resource development. So that will lead to community development. Okay, so this is a structure. And if you put in a picture, the personal development, this is the grassroots level. Personal development, positive action, community organization, participation, involvement. Then comes the focused quality of community life, because we have seen the first picture, it's an individual level capacity building journey. So a working community, a caring community, a safe community, a creative community, and a citizens community. Then comes the state level or national level, purpose is strengthening the community. It should be livable, sustainable, and equitable. And that is definition of a healthy community. So what are things required? Entrepreneurship and skill development, value, economic growth, sanitation, organic agriculture, water management, renewable energy system, artisans, harnessing local improvement of this thing. So considering all this thing, so they have done the 4 things. One is mapping, evolving blueprint of the village, important interventions, capacity building, and regeneration of the natural resources system. So considering that, there's 3 factors are identified. One is economic viability. This is environmental vulnerability, that is taking care of the planet, and social progress. So overlapping these 2, that is a socio-economic factor, it's the eco-efficiency factor, it's the environmental social factor. Combining all this in, ecological, logistical, good, healthy community comes together. So these are the factors which will come. So if you look at it, clean air, water, and if you look at here, environmental regulations, so diversity, human rights, this is social justice, job creation, economic activity, capital investment, and resource efficiency. So this is human capital and social capital. And so all the 5 capital fit into this particular structure. So a development should be in a favorable place and not in a unfavorable place. For example, if you cut 5,000 trees and if you construct a factory, that is not a development, because it will, the deforestation will increase the carbon dioxide existence, because the oxygen released from the plants are being cut down. Okay, so that is not the real development. I'll give you 2 examples. This is one of the area. If you look at this, is place called Pulikat, where there is a lake is there. There is a small bridge was there, and bridge was washed away during tsunami, and the people could not come to this side. Every time they had to use this pulla carts to get their packages over there. So construction of bridge was a big challenge, because there is a bird sanctuary is there. So if that would have been a higher one, that will affect the bird sanctuary. So after a long discussion with the community, with the stakeholders, the government, NGOs, academia, research happened, and they came out with the idea that they did a drenching over here. They dug the sand over here, and in depth, they increased the depth over here, and the bridge level was brought so that the boats can move around without any problem, and the villages are covered. Now look at the development. So many houses have come, it's all well connected. So this is a development in a favorable place. Whereas look at this side, after tsunami, they construct the houses, and they had oxidization pond over here, and the pond in Kadalur, this is in Kadalur. So due to have heat, the water would get evaporated. So that's the idea. And that's right from Clive days, it is happening. Even the collector office, you can see that. That's a good idea. So the water from every house connected through the pipes, and it comes over here and get into this pond. But unfortunately, the pipes are not properly laid. Most of the pipes are broken, you can see, and there is a leakage. Number 2, they are not supposed to put heavy object. Only water should go. But unfortunately, they put stones and bottles, everything. The cubic heavy increased, and there was a lot of seepages. So you can see the wastewater is leaking out, creating a lot of health hazards. Third one is, there is a small stream over here where they used to soak the coconut fiber to make the ropes. The wastewater from the seepage is getting to that, and those people stopped the coir making, and the livelihood is affected. So that is not the real development. Even though they are construct the houses, they have a pond. It's not properly maintained. and that it increased the vulnerability of the people. So that has to be very, very careful. So considering all this thing, the government, the UN agencies came out of a thing called Millennium Development Goals to eradicate poverty, primary education, this thing. So there was 8 points were there, but that was at the 80s, 90s, they talk about millennium because 2000 we are approaching. But when we are approaching the millennium, they thought after millennium what? Then we had to wait for another 1,000 years. So then it was baptized and renamed as Sustainable Development Goals, considering the points what we discussed up to this point, and they put into 17 points. You can check your website for the Sustainable Development Goals. The Honorable Prime Minister says much of India's development agenda is mirrored in the Sustainable Development Goals. Our national plans are ambitious and purposeful. Sustainable development of 1/6 of humanity will be of great consequence to the world and a beautiful planet. So how they are utilizing that? For example, say no poverty. So these are the economic schemes. PM, Prime Minister's urban yojana, something like that. These are different plans which provide job opportunities. So for example, this is 100 days work. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee. So MGR NRA. So like this, these are the schemes which give opportunities for the rural population. So the poverty has to be alleviated. Number 2 is zero hunger, where we are providing midday meal to the children. Public distribution system is strengthened, and soil health care is provided. And 3 is good health and well-being. So these are the health policy from 2017. Now the new policy is coming up. National Rural Health Mission is introduced in 2004. This gives a lot of doctor-patient ratio. That is, newly graduate doctors have to work in the rural areas for some time to get promotion. Mission Indra Dhanush and Janaki Suraksha Yojana, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. These are all supporting this good health. And this is about education. So now this is a health. Health-wise, these are the determinants. For example, the race ethnicity could affect community infrastructure, housing, transportation. The hills areas, till the health facility is not available due to lack of transportation. The environment is affected. Food is not properly there. Our nutrition food is not there. And education is poor. Income. These are the determinants of rural social determinants of health. Okay. Then comes education. So these are the indicators. These are the target and goals that particularly the rural area education system must be provided. So these are the goals set up: primary, secondary education for all, early childhood. So if you any get time, please take each and every sustainable development goal and see the goal points and targets what they are fixed up for each one. And from your perspective, where the country is there or your administration, local administration is there, and which are the areas you could contribute something that you can work out for as a contribution to the country. Then comes the gender equality. So Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, giving a lot of education, maternity benefit program, Kishore Shakti Yojana, and social justice activities are being triggered out. And clean water and sanitation. So now I know a lot of stakeholders, even from Trichy itself. Ramalaya is one agency, just constructed almost 600,000 toilets across 18 states. That's going on. Different kinds of toilets according to the geopolitical factors. So toilet construction is happening. Clean water, quantity of water, quality of water. It should be accessible, it should be affordable, it should be available. So these are the 3. It should be applicable for health as well as for the water and sanitation also. It should be accessible, it should be available, and it should be affordable. Then comes energy. So ensure universal access, affordable, renewable, modern energy services. So now you can see that solar energy and green energy, blue jobs are coming up, blue economy. Blue economy is nothing but ocean-based studies, ocean-based tourism, cleaning the ocean. So a lot of jobs are available. Marine resources maintenance, marine resource research, coastal management. So youngsters can think about green jobs, like planting of trees, maintaining them, doing a lot of research on carbon footprint, solar energy stations, wind energy stations, water energy, hydro energy stations, battery cars, vehicles are coming up. So these are the green jobs coming up over there. Then comes economic growth, okay, with better growth of industries as per the environment norms given by the government, promote sustained inclusive economic growth. Then comes Make in India. So these are rural development programs, okay, and Startup India, MSME and all that. This is action climate change we are seeing, life on land. So climate change is a major threat. So we are now working on it. UNICEF, we are now at present, that is happening in the colleges. We are talking Youth for Earth, where we are sensitizing the youth to take care of the children, because these two are the going to the national builders. In 10 years, the current youth will move to the 40 segment, and the children will move into adolescent and youth sector. So they have to take care of the country and the development. So ultimately, that should be education, health, holistic perception, and skill. That is the basic idea of a human development. And across the interventions, sustainable economic activities, that is water management, renewable energy, artisans and rural, organic agriculture, local natural resources, and basic amenities are being provided. So how to support that? So experts like you, or professionals like you, it's not like just giving money, my work is over. That will make the people always dependent. Or bringing some people, get some financial work and then forget about it. Not that. Continuously sustain means till you are active, come to their level, talk to them, understand their problems, give a solution, and handle support, and make them to support the next generation people. So that is a right kind of support I'm expecting from this group after this. So how can you do that? How we did it during tsunami. So community demands were assessed, services and resources were available, the interaction should be properly maintained, do all kind of analysis, classify them, just not giving everything to everyone, which supply to the right need. And that is a part of sustainable development plan. Okay. For example, we take health. What we do is we always take who. So this is what we talked in the beginning. We talk about individual, family, community, sector, society, where we are going to work. Where is the problem? Then what is the problem? Income or social or education, working, what is affecting the health? Then how to do it over there. These are 3 dimensions or how to do it over there. Okay. And this is the wellness plan. For example, we have to take care of the environment over here, indicate the capacity. Then economic viability, getting the jobs. So that if the economy is good, so naturally they'll take care of their health. The health style will change. The services infrastructure, for example, they'll have a good house to live. And here the self-care motivation will be there. They'll go for self-motivating activities like yoga or something like that. And here it is indicated of category of taking care of the marginalized communities like elders, children, things like that, and better nutrition over here. And finally, indicator of wellness happens over there. For that, usually what we do is we sit with the community and make them to draw their village, have a discussion with the women, understand their problem, classify them, and make the youth to understand their village, the vulnerable areas, vulnerable communities, what are the natural resources, what are the physical, natural, social capitals are available, what are the human capital which we can promote, all the 5 capitals we can understand, and accordingly you can make a village level plan. Then we can go for, so locally available, these are the things locally available, hand washing, keeping the environment clean, waste management, solar management, energy management. So this is a biogas plant. So this is all part of rural development. See, this is an example. Earlier in the school, during COVID time, it was like this. After this hand washing thing started, the pipelines are being made like this. So the water is being used for the garden. Okay. Now this is a hand washing stand. Now, for example, here you see, this is a toilet constructed by the student themselves. Okay. This is a techno-social model, but there is a good teacher. This is near their Dindikkal. Just watch this video. The audio is working? Can you hear the audio?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Now, see, this is a small example in from Uganda I received. From the waste, which was all lying in the garage, waste material, they made a hand washing infrastructure. You see, just like that. Hand washing is very important because that may lead to some kind of health issue. Sometime 3 days, 4 days, they may not attending schools or work. It is going to affect the productivity. So part of the development, this activity is also very important. It's called behavior change. So the whole village started following this practice. See, this is another example, classic example. After a group of youth identify a problem of snakes in North Karnataka, how these youngsters have come out of the innovation you see. It's a techno-social innovative thing. Sorry.
आमच्या गावात मामाला साप चावला अर्धे पाऊण तासांनी त्यांनी आत्म सोडला.
People dying because of snake bites is a story you'll hear in almost every Indian village. But there is another side to it as well. The number of snakes that are killed by the villagers is also fairly large, even though 95% of them are harmless.
आम्हाला सापाची वगैरे भीती असते.
ಇದೊಂದು ರೈತರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
Prasadam, an organization that works closely with farmers in rural areas, wanted to make a difference. One that could protect its farmers from snakes while also ensuring the safety of the snakes.
ಹಾವು ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೊಡಿ.
Most villagers, as a habit, carry a walking stick with them to the fields. We set out to turn it into something extraordinary. The snake guard. An ultrasonic solar-powered snake repellent which looks and works exactly like the walking stick carried by the villagers. All the farmers have to do is carry the snake guard with them to the field and insert it firmly into the ground. The device then sends out a burst of sonic waves every 40 seconds, which the snakes consider as a danger sign, hence keeping an area of up to 50 meters around the snake guard safe for the villagers as well as the snakes.
ಎಂತ ಬಡವನು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಅವನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ.
Powered by a solar battery, the snake guard is an easy-to-use, economical and extremely effective option for the villagers. This simple yet unique creation has been distributed amongst farmers in villages across Karnataka and Maharashtra to guard hundreds of lives and snakes too.
So this is how a problem has been identified and a need is there and supply knowledge is that side, and using the community practice of using the stick and hitting similar way, they are using the same thing. For them it is a name stick, but for the technology base it is emitting waves which will keep the snakes away, so that the snakes also can be saved as part of biodiversity structure, and the farmers also can live a safe life. Now, considering that, now see, the women are given special training. This case study, if you look at it, after tsunami, many women did not want to go into the fishing because of the fear of the tsunami or sea erosion. Then they were sent for to learn about fish pickles, and they made, by default they are all fisherwomen. They made wonderful fish pickles, which was created a heavy demand, and especially the cruise. For which is sailing for 6 to 8 months, they prefer this particular pickle, and so great demand was there. But there is a complaint that it gets spoiled through 2-3 months. So one group from that, they went and learned about preserving the fish for 6 months. They came out of the packaged material. So another group started. So now there are 11 groups working on. It's a classic example. So this is an example of masks, automated mask, and this is supported by solar energy. This tailoring unit supported by this. And here in Kanyakumari district, women said we will construct our own toilets. In case of expansion or any repair, we can manage it because we need not depend on the people. So this side, again the Kerala border, they said we will learn driving, especially heavy duty trucks and buses also, so that our job opportunities are better. We can learn, and that increase our confidence also. So that's happening. What I've seen in the news everywhere. Okay, so look at this example of unreaching areas. The youth have been sensitized, and how they made their own ambulance. Motorcycles, by default, they use it for their personal work, and where it's a necessity, this can be attached, and the patients can be taken to the hospital. Now here, another youth from Pune, and while walking on the road, especially a crowded road, she found there was no toilet, especially for the women. So such a crowded area, and how the women, so that may lead to some kind of urinary infection and problem. So that gave an idea how to make use of it. And there was a need, there was some buses were there, and she made use of the old buses into a toilet. Look at this.
Project is called T, Toilet for Her. It's exclusively for women and women in urban areas, working women, women on the move. This all started when Pune was selected as one of the smart cities. We came up with the idea, instead of going for newer ones, why not go for scrap ones, because these will not move on a regular basis. So availability of water, the toilet should be clean, availability of toilet rolls, soap, all this makes a complete toilet. So we knew that it'll have to be like this, otherwise it may not work. That's what we insisted right from the beginning, that there will be an attendant and it will be an operations model where it will be monitored on a daily basis.
अभी जो सुविधा हुआ है ये पहले नहीं था, और अभी जो कोई लड़की लोग आती है कॉलेज की, वो बोलते हैं कि ये हमारे लिए सेफ है, क्लीन है, इसलिए वो दिन में 2-3 बार तो आके जाते हैं. Space for women, a private space for women, collaborating with the European Space Agency. So they are working out on certain sensors that can be fit in the bus, just to monitor health. If there is an epidemic breakout, that can be, especially dengue or diarrhea or cholera or whatever, whatever epidemic breakout, that can be informed directly to the PMC. So they can give out health alerts.
It's not only providing a toilet facility, it is providing its health education and refreshments also. So that a complete package for the women who are coming from outside. Okay. And this guy is a startup, all old bikes which are completely out of roads. we convert into small tractors. It's in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. So this is a very popular model. You can see it in and around Ahmedabad. So this is another example of a toilet. Because in Musiri, they get water only for 2 months, the Kaveri River. The 10 months they are using the riverbed as an open defecation area. And so they're getting a lot of health issues, and especially diarrhea when the water comes out, because they're using the same water which flows through that riverbed. So an NGO called Scope, they came out of the model called EcoSun toilet. It's nothing but dry toilet. It'll have 2 chambers. What you should not use water for cleaning. It just put little ash. It get compost, and then after 3 months, it get compost. Using a spade, you can take it out and sprinkle in your land. Finished. That there is no flushing. There is no water. Even less water. These toilets are very safe. Initially, the community was not in favor of that, because they are used to that washing habit. But when they understand the utility and the health case, the diarrheal cases came down drastically, they accepted. And recently when I visited, so this is the status of the toilet. Okay. See, the health education is being given. The community has got a small office. They teach the newcomer how to use the toilet and how to put the ash, everything. And I didn't believe that it is a toilet. It was so beautifully maintained. It's maintained by the community itself. Okay. So ultimately, in notice, there are 7 areas they have to focus for a rural development: water sanitation, economic and community development, maternal child health, supporting the environment, basic education, disease prevention, and peace and conflict. That's social justice. These are the 7 sustainable development goals for immediate sustainable development in rural areas. So development and disasters, they should go hand in hand, understanding each other's, how technology is creating a problem and fulfilling. Otherwise, it will be 2 sides and it will never reach the goal. It will reach to somewhere else. So to wrap up that, the improvement of socio-economic life of rural people is possible only by providing basic infrastructure which enables them. Rural credit has to be encouraged by the banks. Major problems of key issues of rural economy have to be solved. Development of human resources like literacy, education, skills, livelihood, health, and water sanitation to be taken care. Implementation of land reforms and continuous empowering of community and local authorities. So study of social needs have to be done by the academy. Impact assessments have to be done. Finding root cause, finding solution, advocating, and industry have to support with finance and plans. And government has to come out with the right kind of policy development, and community should cooperate. And together we create a beautiful garden called Sustained Development Community. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the awesome session, sir. So we'll straight away move to the question and answer session, sir.
Yes, sir.
Participants, you can please unmute and ask your questions, please.
Can I ask?
Yeah, please go on.
Yes, sir.
Sir, your organization, suppose like we have set up a factory in a rural surrounding about 50 kilometers from 70 kilometers from Chennai.
Yeah.
Now, seems to be, I mean, there are quite a few people, students studying their higher secondary school. Can you, I mean, does your organization do an assessment? What improvements can be done when as part of corporate social responsibility? Like we have other industries nearby, there are a lot of quarry. I mean, we can all contribute and kind of have a professional assessment done of where the improvements can be done. Do you do such? Let's say.
No, sir, to be frank, this is a one-man army, sir. I'm the only person. But what I do is, I have worked with industries, international NGOs, academia. So wherever there is a need, I made an agreement with the right kind of stakeholder. For example, the assessments, what they are saying, it could be from either from Stella Maris or Lilo College, or if it is a health related,
Yeah.
The School of Public Health is there
Yeah.
in the thing. So I take the experts and thing. Now I am working with UNICEF at present. Till yesterday, I was in southern states. Tomorrow I am going to Vellore, Krishnagiri, Dharmapuri, Salem. So UNICEF is organizing. I am promoting the climate change and human health strategies among youth, sensitizing them. So I prepared a manual, which is now under purview of the government. Once it has been done, easy handle manual only for the medical officers as well as for the youth. Now the youth will be given a handheld support to understand the problem, and once they understand, they will be acting as a green ambassadors in their respective districts, and they will be sensitizing people. So this is how I do it. Even though I'm a one-man army, but I have a network of experts in all the fields. So if you can identify this, this I can say that I can link with the right kind of professionals.
Yeah.
And you can form a team and you can start working.
Because if the industries directly approach the I mean, as a service, there's always looked with suspicion. What is their ulterior motive?
I understand.
We need NGOs or so that they can do a professional job.
What I can do is
definitely support.
I can support up to the level understanding the needs of the people and what kind of services could be provided.
Okay.
Up to that point I do. Then I leave it to an organization who have got all the supporting mechanism to receive the finance, and we'll provide a service for them as a technical service.
Right.
That's how we are working on it.
The other problem we want to talk is we don't get people to work. Actually, we are bringing people all the way from Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
This problem are you facing, though there is so ample employment opportunity, especially Tamil Nadu.
So that's a problem. Is they are ready to work at a rate which is very, very low. So for example, here the rate is 800 for a mason. They are ready to work for 400. So that is economic structure over there. That should be some kind of understanding. And second thing is they work for 16 to 18 hours. Now next building, next to my house, that construction is going on, and the people are staying over there. They start the work at 6 o'clock, they work up to 9 o'clock. So the builders naturally they prefer that is a thing of their benefit. So we cannot stop them from that.
No, I mean, why our people are not ready? I mean, that is because
that is a study we have to do.
Okay.
That we have to do a study.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. This is Manivannan here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for a wonderful overview. It is a very big subject. As a policymaker, you have covered a lot of points, but my main concern is how we as citizens are going to play small roles in fulfilling these ambitions. I'm sure we all can do if we can decide on it. So from my side, my family runs a school in a village called Thiruvilayattam, which is about 16 kilometers from Mayuram.
Right.
It's near Semmanar Koil. This school was started by my great-great-grandfather in 1865. 1865, I repeat.
Right.
So we have about 250 students in the elementary school and about 700 students in the high school.
Right.
So I'm in the process of renovating the toilets in these schools.
Right.
In the elementary school, the toilet is an open toilet. So I'm very fascinated by the innovative urinal that you have showed in the form of a video.
Right.
So can you help in sharing that knowledge with us, because I'm okay to implement that in our school. In this summer holidays we are planning to do that. And the second point is in our school. Sorry, sir. I'll just complete. The second point is in our school, we would like to have some awareness camps.
Right.
So if you can please arrange some sort of an interaction with the students and the parents, we can arrange for those things. These are my 2 points.
Sure, we can do. So toilet is concerned, what is shown in the school, that is only an experimental basis. So every school, we don't think we'll get the same kind of support from the children, and parents may not like us also working on this thing over there. This is to create an awareness that a teacher can make a change, but we cannot expect that. But what we can do is, there are NGOs with the kind of support they get from the CSR support. You can note down, there is one agency called Gramalaya in Tiruchi. One Sri Sai Samadharan sir is there. He's a Padma Shri. Last year he received his Padma Shri for constructing 600,000 toilets. And which district you are talking? The school? Where
This is
that?
Mayavaram district, Mayiladuthurai district.
So he is doing in Pudukkottai and Tiruchi. He is doing excellent work. So even you can consider the menstrual hygiene practice of adolescent girls. That is also an important thing, part of the education. So you can talk to him. I'll give his number. I'll pass on. You can talk to him. And he is completely giving toilet solutions. And Tetal is supporting. So you can talk to him if it is possible, whether it is in their purview, they can give at least ideas, or if it can construct the toilets, it's well and good.
Okay, can I have his contact details, sir?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, sir. I'll send it to you. I'll post it.
Okay.
I'll post it to Gopi, sir. You can take it from him. Yeah.
Okay, this is Gramalaya, is it?
Gramalaya. You can check the website. It's there. The number is there. They have a training institute in Kulitalai, and they have a World Toilet College. So you cannot construct a toilet, a model which is constructed in coastal area, in a hill area. It's different. That is different. There are different kinds of toilets. So you can check with a kind of toilet which will work in a school. Simultaneously, you can think about having a hand washing station.
Yeah.
So where
definitely
7 pipes will be there. So that one child start washing, all children will come over there. So that will create an awareness. That is promoted by an NGO called India NGO.
Okay.
You can check the website. I can do the numbers. You can talk to them.
Please. I'll
So
be grateful.
they are providing this idea of hand washing stations and hand washing behavior change suggestions to the children. I'll give the numbers. You can take it up.
Okay. So as a follow-up of this activity, which is so beautifully done by Gopi and AABN officers, I'm sure I'll be able to pitch in and do something useful for our country.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regarding this exposure visit, we can find some places in and around Mayavaram. Even I have a school. Even I am running a school in Virudhunagar district. That is for the informal sector, for the masons and carpenters and only for the children. And we do think a lot of ideas on hand washing, day-to-day life, like what they can do after 10th, what are the different areas, social structures. A lot of things we talk about. Once in a month, we invite somebody to come and talk to them also.
Okay. We are prepared to implement that also in our school, sir.
You can do that.
Our school is called...
You identify somebody from your own area. So it will be, they'll talk about that. So they can understand better.
Yeah. Because there are about 30 villages around the school, and the children from these villages come to our school and they study.
You approach the Lights Club or Rotary Club of Tanjavur. I think they have some network.
Okay.
So they will definitely provide you kind of people.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Gopi.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. No problem. Welcome, sir. Yes, Mr. Praveen Kumar, you had a question you can ask, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go on. Please go on, Mr. Praveen Kumar. Participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions, please.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
audible. Yeah, please go on.
Yes.
So let me give you my brief introduction. I am into electronics since I was a teenager.
Right.
And in around 1995, I started delving into subjects like battery energy storage and solar. And now we are also providing solar concentrated solar thermal solutions. And way back in 2010, our company signed a memorandum of understanding with TERI as a battery technology provider for their program Lighting a Billion Lives.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that I'm attending this program, and I'm also very thrilled with the opportunities that you guys have created. And there are many solutions which we have already got implemented either through TERI or some through other organizations. And as a matter of fact, in November 2019, later on at the call of Indian High Commissioner from Nigeria and Indian Chamber of Commerce based out of Calcutta, they invited me for a meeting with the Power Ministry of Nigeria in Abuja. And during these periods, I touched upon 5 countries to provide trainings: Cameroon, Benin, Togo, Niger, and Nigeria. But unfortunately, due to the COVID lockdown, a lot of my capital base and the efforts got eroded, and we restarted this again in 2023. And probably in 2024, again, we are going to do something bigger in Western and Central Africa first. So my take on all of these things is that the job is too large, and given my own personal experience working with international agencies, generally we found out that whatever is the cost of the equipment, that is very less compared to the administration cost to reach those grassroots level beneficiaries. So I have got ample proofs of that. I don't talk out of the thin air. We can discuss that personally.
Yes, sure.
So, you can count on my network for assisting you in this big vision.
Sir, wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think my mentor, Dr. Mangalam Balasubramanian is there. Dr. Mangalam, ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, please go on, ma'am. Mangalam, ma'am, please go on. Dr. Mangalam.
She's always my well-wisher, and she is always my model in national level waste management concept. She has got a group called Eco Chakra AABN, where they are promoting this biogas plant, compost pits. Wonderful work they are doing. Anyway, she might have left, I think. Yeah.
Sir.
So,
sir, SRK, sir, please go on. Participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions.
Gobi, sir.
Please go on, Meenakshi Nathan.
Okay, thanks, Gobi, sir. Second, this week also we had a very good time. My question is, sir, Mr. Suresh, Virudhunagar district, what you are doing? Actually, I am based in Sivagasi. So,
okay,
where and what you are doing?
We are in Karyapati.
Oh, Karyapati.
Yeah.
No.
So we have a school called St. Mary's Matriculation
What
School.
you have running a school for?
For the not normal school, especially for the informal sector. Mostly the children of informal sector, like drivers, carpenters, masons, that kind of children. Because it was started by my father in '86 after his retirement. So when he was working there, the government school, and he retired there, and the entire TVS, Sundaram Fastness, they shifted over there, and they encouraged them to start an English school for rural children. So that is how he started. Now it has been taken care by us.
Okay. Is it actually how many students now studying, sir?
Around 700.
Oh, very good, very good. We have a very good place with 5 acres with farm land and all that. Now, the JC school, they just came and give an offer. My idea is, shall we go for a school like yours in our area? Because we have around some 40 to 30, sorry, 30 to 40 villages there.
Yeah, you can.
Is it?
Now, the problem, psychology of the parents. Initially, we started like a informal school to teach the children on various things. But after completion, when the children go for higher education, the certificate becomes a very important thing to get into, because we have to only 10th. So when you go for 11th or something, initially started up to 5th only. When they go for 6th, the certificate didn't been exercised. So we are being forced to go for this matriculation system. So that is where we got stuck over that. Of course, the certificates are now useful. They are getting our students all over the world. They are all working, and we have a very good standard system with various channels for them to take part in various competition. So education is considered, but other than that, out of box thinking is the main idea of making students to think creatively.
Karyapati, in your school, if I usually travel around the Karyapati, so if anybody is there to meet and I can see
I'll give the
them.
contact. I'll give the contact, sir. I'll give the contact.
Okay.
You can visit them.
If you come, if
So
you come over here, please.
Yeah,
please give me a call.
Day for yesterday was there. Next week I'll be coming.
Oh.
When I'm coming, I'll give a call. You can come
Okay,
down.
okay,
We can discuss over. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Thank you.
Sir.
Gopi sir, thank you, sir.
Thanks. Dr. Daniel Challappa. Sir Ilangon, sir, please go on, sir.
Okay. Very good. Another very useful session. Thanks, Gopi, for arranging. Fantastic insight, Mr. Suresh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Really, with your ground level this thing, and you are, I could see that you are involved in this very well. I am getting involved in this type of activities almost 1.5 years now. In my Thiruvarur district, in my village, doing something with my students in my area, and also trying to do something in the rural development. Engage the local, panchayat board, councillors, all those people. I see, though there is a structure that PRI, 29 departments, all those things are there, and looks like the awareness and the right what they have, they all don't know.
Right.
The way I see. Okay, it has not reached, and unfortunately, state government is not giving enough power to those, panchayat boards. It looks to me.
Right.
What is your understanding? Where do you see for real people participation? Though there is a structure, everything is there, but it's not happening. It looks like to me.
No, see.
What is your take? Where do you see the issues and all?
Actually, short of time, I have not shared some of the case studies. One of the case studies, I'll send the link. You can take it up. One about in Kuttampakkam in what is that?
Ilangovan, right? Ilangovan, right?
Ilangovan, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I know it.
That's a classic study.
Yeah.
He's
Yes,
not
that's
depending on.
Yeah,
He's not
only one
depending
or
on.
two. Yeah, one or two is happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what he has done, he was with ONGC. He
Yeah.
left the job, and his idea is, if you want to make the thing, you have to be in the power. So you contest in the election, you become the panchayat leader.
Yeah.
First thing is,
okay.
yeah. First thing is he set right that water tanks, everything. So ensuring 4,20,000 liters of water every day, and then using the CSR, making the toilets with the support of government, whatever providing, and with the water tank, everything. So the toilets have been constructed. Next, he concentrated on skill training. So he found out what kind of resources available. I told that the resources available. So the soil over there, dry ash, is very good for making blocks. So he encouraged them to make blocks, building blocks. Children were given good education. Health camps were organized. When the family economy increased, so they have a better health-seeking behavior, and women got empowered. So they make the children in a better status. So it's all one after other taken care of. So you can check that video.
That's a bright one. That's a real good example. But one or two is happening out of so many thousands of panchayat.
That's what, see, we have to understand the available resources. For example, you choose an area. You can take shelter, water, sanitation, child, education, environment, livelihood, disaster management, gender issues, social justice, depending on your study, or depending on your expertise, or depending on your available resources. Some areas are combined areas. Okay, if it is could be education means providing infrastructure to the school, or providing some kind of awareness in the school children. If it is children, then go for children rights, children safety, children trafficking, or something like that. That is little legal issues are involved. Then you have to be on the advocacy side. Or if you are going for water sanitation, construction of toilets, or providing water solution, there are a lot of geologists who are working as water management. I have a network of geologists. 30% of their time they are providing and identifying the water resources, helping the farmers. So
I'll catch up with you definitely.
Sure.
Contact.
We can work
okay. Thank you very much. Really appreciate.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Gopi.
Rajesh, you may please unmute and ask Rajesh. Go on, Rajesh.
Hi, thank you, sir. Actually, it's a wonderful presentation, sir. Sorry, sir. Really, yeah. So basically, I'm a researcher. So, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Sir? Yeah, basically, I'm a researcher. Yeah, especially for the community action research based, I'm working actually.
Okay.
So, I have two questions, sir. Actually, so one is this that local governance actually, what is the stand for your in Tamil Nadu, sir? Actually, because as per my understanding, Niti Aayog report, I gone through that. Actually, I did a small studies actually. So majority 37% is going to further infrastructure development, and 27% for the water sanitation. Something they are only everything depends on the infrastructure only. That is, but the knowledge part actually is very less. They not include that actually, particularly in the Gram Panchayat. So, as your experience actually, why it is happening, sir? Actually, see, as I understanding your slides actually, the major things such capacity building is a crucial role for development actually.
Yes.
So from because so far in India they have 1644 schemes is there actually, but in Gram Panchayat actually they are using 8 to 9 accounts that they are using, but they are not used much 10 to 15 schemes actually. So somewhere it is because whatever they are maintaining that accounts and their resolution they passed, but they not achieve that complete systems actually. Is there any political? I understand the political scenario thing, but apart from why it is not happening for either in the people participation or
it's a people participation. There are two things, sir. One is the migration of people is happening.
Okay.
So every time when you go, there are new kind of people. So again, you have to start from the beginning. The ownership is not there. There are some places, there are generations. See, like Vodandur, Coimbatore near Vodandur, that most of the village houses, they say they are all from that village for 3-4 generations. So they all. So there is a traditional panchayat, there is elected panchayat. Both panchayats they complement each other. Okay. So the difference is the elected panchayat. The constitution gives a facility that anyone can contest from anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Right. So if I don't know anything about Dharmapuri. If I contest over there, using my popularity, I may win, but I don't know the local anthropological factors.
Okay.
So that factor is only known to the traditional panchayat. But traditional panchayat does not have a power, isn't it? So from my study, what I said, most of the achievements are done where both traditional and elected panchayat complement each other, and then they come out without any ego and make the people to understand how much benefit they are going to get out of it. And then once sensitization is being done and the benefits are shared, and these are the schemes available, then definitely community will come forward. And one case study, success case study, will trigger others to come forward to take it up. After tsunami, a lot of villages we have experienced, and we have seen, for example, many villages now they are having this. You can see that hand washing practice because of the children. Children are acting as an ambassadors.
Exactly.
So you have to identify channels. We cannot have a standard rule, but it all depends on trial and error basis.
Yeah, it's true, sir. Whatever they say, right? I'm not, but as I seen that actually the committee is not functioning, sir. Actually, especially in village health water sanitation committees, is part of that actually.
Yes.
All the seven standing committees actually is not putting. At the as you say that is the literacy level is high, but they don't understand the major things. Actually, knowledge is a biggest gap, sir. Actually, that's what I feel that from the. So somewhere actually people will not participate.
NGOs and CSR under CSR activities, at least once in 3 months. The Kila is a very good example. I told you, Kerala Institute of Local Administration. Region-wise, they conduct trainings, and they are understanding with the government at all levels. It's very good. Any good practice, immediately that will be tested and followed if it is feasible. Whereas here, that is not happening. They always think about whatever they have done, they follow their own rules.
Okay, sir.
I can give many examples, but time short.
I understand. Sir, I understand your concept, sir. But second question, actually, the percentage of GDP's allocation is very less, sir. Actually, that is also. So I understand that for the GDP, the percentage year is that increased, but allocation of the fund scheme based actually it will be reduced, especially health and education. The point level only the increasing, but the demands are high. I understand that. So cost CSR also at least that 2% of spend in the community. That is also roughly it will come under around 25.
That is only auxiliary. That is auxiliary activities, not the main activities.
Not for major things, sir. It's not also not happening. Somewhere, but we are saying that as my understanding is that knowledge is very crucial, but somewhere is it's missing.
That's
Sir.
what
We
we are
have to
working on. Knowledge. We need a lot of youth to come into knowledge management and information dissemination.
Definitely, sir. That's all. Thank you, sir. It's a really wonderful session. Yeah, we want to move like you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ram Kannabiran. Ram, you can put forward a suggestion, Ram. Kannabiran. Anyone else has a question, you may please unmute and ask. One last question we can take. Sir.
Can you post the contact details so that
we can get... Gobi sir has got my contact.
I'll give it. I'll post
it in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. He's asking you put it in the chat, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Better that way.
So overall, Gopi sir, is it okay?
It's okay, sir. Very nice, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for taking your time out on a Sunday morning to be with us.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Always knowledge management is a cup of tea.
We will stay. We stay connected, sir.
Yeah,
I have a few friends who want to share some of the CSR funds.
Yeah, sure.
I will just connect them.
We have people who are looking forward.
Yeah. I can.
For support. We have wonderful doctors, very, very dynamic doctors who are working on ethics. in the rural community.
Okay.
So we can definitely introduce any sector, whatever sector they say. Accordingly, we can identify.
And we'd also like to have Dr.
providers.
Mangalam come in and speak, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. You invite her, please.
Yeah.
And one more thing I would like to introduce from my group, I have one gentleman, Ramaswamy. He is a firefighter.
Okay.
And he is one among the best in the world. He lives in UK, but he is a Singaporean Tamil only.
Okay.
But he comes down and we closely working on industrial safety.
Oh, very nice, sir. We can have him for a session, sir, because that's one.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
one hot
sure.
topic,
And
you know,
we have a geologist who is helping the farmers to identify the water, and many of the farmers, he saved many farmers, and the lands which have been completely dumped, now they are going for crores because of his water support. And he is an expert in rainwater harvesting ideas.
Oh, very nice.
And that is the reason why Tamil Nadu is surviving. Bangalore is now struggling, you see. So you can invite the geologists. I'll give the contacts. You can talk to them.
Sure, sir. We'll take care.
He'll give the domestic solutions also, as well as industrial and agricultural solutions. So Ramasamy sir can talk about, because since you are all mostly engineers, so you can talk about the SOPs to be followed in industries, which can be useful for many of you to implement in your industries. Yeah. So shall we close? It's okay. Everything is there. Anybody else?
I just want to go quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take 1
Sure,
minute.
sir.
So thank you very much for a lot of insights that you've given.
Thank
My
you,
name
sir.
is Ram, and I work for a company that produces water-related products.
Right.
It's a big range called Xylem. I don't know if you have heard of this company. It's an American multinational,
Okay.
for which I'm heading a part of the India operations. So, and the interest that I have from your presentation is that there is a lot of potential CSR activities and something that we can strictly channel towards the societal requirements.
Exactly.
So any contact information, I'm sure I can get your contact information from Gopi, so I can have.
I'll give my number, sir.
Yes, I'll take
post
your
my number
contact and
chat.
I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, please. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
So actually, look at my logo. There are 4 pillar rounds are there. So one is for academia, government, NGO, industry, and little bit from each one makes a round in the middle. That's a community.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Keep in touch. Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, the call got dropped because of power outage, sir.
Yeah. I understand. All right. Anyway, thank you, Gopi sir, for the wonderful.
Thank you very much, sir.
So I was a little taken away because you're all professionals, you're in the field. So what I can say, because this is all community development activity. So how much it may trigger interest in you. But anyway, I'm very happy there was a positive support from each one of you. So looking forward, your contribution, it could be of CSR support, or it could be of direct support, or it could be of community development involvement. Anything, you can contact me. Whatever way I can help, definitely I'm there to support that.
Sure, sir.
So I think 5th or 6th Industrial Safety Conference has been organized by SRM. So I'm the keynote speaker in that. Yeah, SRM. Okay. I'll share the link.
Sure, sir.
So you can register, you can publish papers, and top people from it's in collaboration with the NIDM, National Institute of Disaster Management, Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs. So you can take part also.
Sure, sir.
So I'm talking about how to make an on-site disaster management plan.
Okay.
So you can take part. The same way, whichever network I'm working, I'll connect to that. Now, Farm Graduates Forum. You can invite one Dr. Nahur Ali Jinnah, who was a former Chief General Manager of NABARD. So you can talk about agricultural finance. So excellent presenter. He's a decent presenter. I can give the contact. You can talk about climate justice, climate finance. A lot of areas are there which are new to technocrats. So I'm very particular about after working in VIT, I've produced almost 15 techno-social experts who are all working on various social entrepreneurship activities. Yeah. So let's see how we can cooperate in the future over there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.